Hello there. With over 1,30,000 cases of COVID-19 in India, announcements of night curfew and lockdowns, at least micro-containment efforts, has rattled the people of the country and the industry. There is a nocturnal lockdown in over 10 states. We are vaccinating, but is it really on a war footing? The industry is concerned about an adverse fallout on the economy as night curfews are being announced, lockdowns are being announced, and has asked for opening up of vaccinations in a big way. There is politics around it also, but what is the industry saying? To talk about that, we have a panel of experts from the industry. I'm Sneha Multani. With India witnessing a spurt in cases of COVID-19, FICCI, the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, has urged the government to open up vaccination for the age group of those below the age of 45, between 18 and 45 now. At present, people only above the age of 45 are eligible to receive the shot. Unlock vaccinations is the demand, and do this in a big way to inoculate more and more people at the soonest. There is no shortage, says the industry, as per the government's own claims, so expedite the process. More so because night curfews and city lockdowns are becoming common once again. There's a lot of conversation about night curfews in the country, and let's take a look at where all night curfew has been imposed as of now. Maharashtra has 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. Delhi again 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Punjab 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in 9 cities. Jammu and Kashmir 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in 8 districts. In Rajasthan, curfew is from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. in 10 cities. In UP, there are restrictions in Lucknow, Noida and Ghaziabad. In Odisha again 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in 10 districts. In Gujarat, in at least 20 cities. In Chandigarh also there is a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. In Karnataka from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at least in 7 cities. Joining me now are Mr. Uday Shankar, is the president of FICCI. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy is the joint managing director of Polo Hospitals Group, and Dr. Arvind Lal is at the chair FICCI Swasth Bharat Task Force. He's also the executive chairperson of Dr. Lal Path Labs. Thank you all for your time here. There is a raging debate in the country as we speak about why is India not opening up vaccinations. I want to begin by asking you, Mr. Uday Shankar, the FICCI has written a letter to the government saying that start this as soon as possible. What are your arguments about starting up and opening up vaccinations quickly for people even below the age of 45?
Look, first and foremost, I think government is trying to do the best it can. I have to give you the context in which FICCI wrote that letter to the Ministry of Health. Our view is that, we have come out of the COVID situation over the last 1 year pretty well. It has been devastating, but looking back, it could have been much worse. But the timely action taken by the Prime Minister and the Government of India in order to do a lockdown, etc., has made sure that the loss of lives in this country has been one of the lowest. Now, the second phase that we saw was the government tried to reestablish, and try to make sure that the economy bounced back very rapidly. And we've had great success with that, with the budget, with some of the measures taken. And now, globally, it's being recognized that India is on a path to come back very strongly on the economic recovery. Now, the challenge is that we cannot allow either of this to slip up. We have to make sure that the lives are protected and everybody's lives are protected, but we have to also protect livelihood and the economy. And the letter that we wrote was in order to balance that too, because we believe that the best way forward would be to make sure that people who are very actively participating in the economic process, workers, those who go out to offices, into factories, traders, etc., this is the younger age group of people who, all adults. They are going out. Keeping them at home impacts the economy. They're also the people who are difficult to, temperamentally restless. And it's tough for them to just stay home all these days once they've just started their economic activity. So our view is that we should make sure that we understand the limitations that exist, that we don't have vaccines for everybody and we don't have the distribution mechanism for everyone. And my two eminent colleagues, Sangeeta and Dr. Lal, will talk about that.
All right.
But within those limitations, I think it's important to widen the catchment of people who can benefit from the vaccine and bring economically most productive people as fast as we can into the into the vaccination universe
Yes,
as possible.
Dr.
And hence
Sangeeta
we wrote
Reddy,
that.
I want to ask you, the government says there is no shortage. Health Minister said it, the Prime Minister has said it. The government has been going all out and saying that there is limited supply of the vaccine. So how can we then open up? What do you then have to tell the government?
So clearly, this is a complex and very important situation that we're in right now. On one level, we need to ensure that people follow safe practices. All the COVID appropriate behavior that we've learned over the last year must be re-highlighted now. We need to enhance the treatment and make sure that anyone who gets COVID is treated appropriately. But the critical question you asked is really about the vaccine availability. So considering the fact that we need to vaccinate anything from 60 to 70% of the population, at the current rate of giving the vaccines, we've covered about 9.4 crore people. We're doing about 36 lakh vaccinations per day. At this rate, it will still take us close to a year to reach that. And therefore, it's important for us to ramp up the pace, the number of sites, the timing, and for this, we need adequate supply. Coming to the supply aspect, it is known that right now there's a shortage in a few locations. I think Andhra, Assam, Maharashtra, all these we're feeling shortages on the ground, and therefore the supply chain of whatever exists has to be streamlined. That's step one. The capacity of the current manufacturers must be ramped up because India needs more vaccines. When we have this support, that we have more vaccines, the age category can be enhanced even further. This will ensure a faster rebound. At the same time, we are also recommending multiple steps, whether it is in using PLI schemes to enhance manufacturing, inviting international capability in to create more production capacity in India of a range, because India can not just we already are the vaccine capital of the world, we can enhance that position even further by inviting in others. But also in the immediate term, fast-tracking vaccines like the Sputnik or the J&J, which have been proven globally, fast-track their entry into India so that we have more vaccines available.
Yes.
So a range of recommendations we are giving because we believe that vaccination, containment, education, keeping the economy going, treatment, all these are concurrent steps.
Yes.
And our overall strategy must encompass this within the range of what we're capable of doing. We also believe another important one is to continue to test and isolate.
Yes.
And
I'll talk about that, Dr. Reddy, in just a bit from now. We'll talk about testing also in a bit. I want to talk about Sputnik V. We have 2 vaccines that have restricted emergency use in the country right now, but there are many in the pipeline, Dr. Lal. And a lot is being said about why was Sputnik V turned away not once but twice by the regulator when this is a vaccine that has established 91.6% efficacy, published in the Lancet already. Why are we not having an unusual or an exceptional response to an unusual and an exceptional situation? Dr. Lal.
Sneha, this has got to do with the third phase of the trials.
Yes.
The third phase of trials were not, the way the results were expected out. So I don't think that India has said no to the Sputnik vaccine, but it is the regulator which has sent it back for some clarifications.
Yes.
And from what we have heard, that they are about to come out with it. I don't think the launching this vaccine in India would be a problem. However, having said that, whenever a vaccine has been discovered or designed in country A and it is being manufactured say in country B, like the AstraZeneca vaccine in Pune, there are certain bridging studies which the regulator has just asked for clarifications, and I'm under no illusion or delusion that it will not be accepted. It will be accepted.
Okay. But there is to be much more done, Mr. Uday Shankar, as far as improving our capacity to produce and to make more doses is concerned. Both Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech have already said on the record and off the record that there are some curbs as far as exports are concerned. You think that the government is going in the right direction when it comes to putting some limitation as far as the export policy is concerned? Even if it's not banning the exports in totality, because each of these companies have their own obligations also, including commercial obligations to provide vaccines to other countries outside India.
Look, first of all, government and the Prime Minister has been very generous and very universal in his approach in terms of sharing vaccines with our neighbors, and India has given away a lot of vaccines. However, you must appreciate that when the crisis is so deep and so wide at home, the primary responsibility of the government comes to its own people. So I don't think anyone can find fault with the strategy that there are some restrictions being imposed on export of vaccines. The real issue is not about whether we should export or not. If we can export, we must export and we must benefit the world. But the real issue is that we need a lot more vaccines, and we'll continue to need them for a longer period of time. And that is why we must dramatically ramp up our capacity to produce and distribute the vaccines.
Yes.
That is the real issue. So, while the Covishield vaccine of Serum is doing a great job, I think there is an opportunity to ramp up the production of Covishield. There is an opportunity to dramatically increase the production of Bharat Biotech vaccine. And as Sangeeta was talking about, there are other vaccines. They've been proven globally, and I'm not qualified to comment on the scientific and medical filters that must be applied. But whatever those filters are, I would only say that in larger social interest, those filters must be applied rapidly and quickly, and we must come to a conclusion.
Yes.
Because there is an atmosphere of hope and positivity that has come to exist today in this country, and we do not want to take an approach that sort of dents that atmosphere of positivity. The way the economy has bounced back, the kind of things that the government has done, they are all really encouraging, and you can see that everybody was thinking, including the global community. Everybody has been saying that India will bounce back more strongly than most countries. We cannot allow that momentum to slow down.
But it does appear it is slowing down. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, we have night curfews that are back. We have lockdowns, at least in some cities, which are back. I spoke to, in fact, the Chhattisgarh Health Minister the other day, and he said, look, what is the option? Every second person in Raipur city is COVID positive. We have to lock down Raipur. I know there is an economic cost to pay, but we have to do it. Does it worry you? Night curfews, lockdowns, again, even if it's not on a scale which is affecting the entire country, portions of the country are getting affected?
So it absolutely does worry us, and that's why we're all here together to look at solutioning. And I think one thing we should re-highlight is that today we have a knowledge of the treatment. We have a vaccine in hand. We need to come together. We also, I think, have a clear appreciation of the fact that a health crisis like this is the responsibility of the government, of the private sector, whether they're in manufacturing or that they can reach out and cover their own employees, and of society in staying safe and cooperating. So I think in light of this, it is for us to once again step up and attack and tackle the second wave far more effectively and quicker, because we have the tools than we did the first wave.
Yes.
So our tone is of positivity. It's a call to action. It's a call for innovation, and it's a call for collective work against this crisis.
Dr. Lal, there is a lot of conversation in the country about people wanting to come forward and pay for the vaccines. A lot of people said, okay, don't bring the Pfizer vaccine under the government program. Don't give it as free of cost to the people, but bring it to the country so that the people who want to pay the money for a vaccine like Pfizer and Moderna should have the option. Pfizer's conversation with the government was inconclusive because they were hell-bent on not having bridging studies in the country. You think the government should restart a conversation now with Pfizer and Moderna, given the fact there is enough and more data to show that to an extent these vaccines are protecting against the new variants?
So thank you for raising this question, because I think there are actually two parts to it. Let us look at what we need to do for a rapid ramp up. And rapid ramp up would be to also accelerate what we have with Serum Institute as well as Bharat Biotech. So I think a dialogue to enhance the financial viability of supply in India, whether that means individuals pay or individuals gift a higher amount and it goes into the government kitty, so a certain portion can be reimbursed to these two companies so that they rapidly ramp up, while we parallelly open multiple sources and go through the scientific process, but do so in an accelerated manner, is, I think, the need of the hour. Because right now we are very clear that an extensive rapid vaccination drive at 5 to 10 times the level of what we are doing today is
Okay.
clearly the need of the hour.
Yes, I was wanting to ask Dr. Lal also. Dr. Lal, do come in. Your point of view on bringing in more vaccines like the Pfizer and Moderna in the country for those people who are saying, we can afford it, we want to buy this vaccine, we want to use this vaccine.
Yes, I think there is absolutely, no doubt about bringing in more vaccines into India. It's no rocket science that we need from wherever we can buy the vaccines. But all these, the Moderna, the Pfizer vaccines, they required a very, very low temperature. It is in minus 20, etc., for which India is ill-equipped. That's point number one. And point number two is Pfizer itself has pulled out of India by saying that they would not be able to offer this vaccine in India. I don't know the reason. And the third point is that why don't we, ramp up our production, what Sangeeta has said. So I would like to, spend a little bit more time on that. Serum Institute of India has requested the government for 3,000 crore rupees to ramp up his production from the current 6 or 7 crore vaccines doses per month to about 10 crores. And the government of India in its last budget has kept aside 35,000 crores for vaccination. So I think this is the time to, share this money with, a gentleman who has, stood by India and has made India proud of vaccine production all over the world. I think we should release this money and come to the rest so that at least the supply side is taken care of. And of course, there are lots of other, hassles, etc., etc. But the fact of the matter is that the government of India is saying that they have about 4.3 crore doses in the pipeline, 2.4 they have in stock, and 1.9 are in pipeline, which adds up to a figure of 4.3 crores. And if you are vaccinating about 30 lakh a day, it is again going to, finish off in about 11 to 12 days.
Yes.
So I think we need to have this kind of a, fix this financial issue once and for all, which is not a very big matter from my point of view.
Okay, what went wrong really? Mr. Uday Shankar, I want to ask you, did we not anticipate this? Because we all know there was a great deal of vaccine hesitancy to begin with in the beginning. Now, as the cases surge, there were more people coming forward to take the vaccine. Did the government of India not anticipate the situation, in your opinion? Or what really went wrong? Because the government has said that we've actually exported more doses of the vaccine than inoculated our own population. They're on record to say this.
Look, first of all, we should not look for a villain in every situation. We are in a situation where there are no villains. Everybody is trying, the central government, the state governments, the healthcare people, they're all trying to do the same thing. They are all trying to get people, to save people's life and to keep the country safe and protected. This is a situation where there are only victims, there are no villains. So that is a point that I want to make. So let's not look for villains here. Number two, government had anticipated, but don't forget, this is the fastest from discovery to distribution, the fastest case of vaccine, and that too at this scale. Sangeeta just talked about 36 lakh vaccines are being given away every day. Under normal circumstances, or even under abnormal circumstances, it's a gigantic number. So we should appreciate that. All we are saying is that there is still a gap between the challenge and the steps that are being taken. I think we are ramping it up. When we first started distributing the vaccine, the number was way less than 36 lakhs a day. Now we have gone to that level. It will keep going up. The question is, can we accelerate that process? And that is why instead, we should all come together, put our heads together, and that's what FICCI is trying to do. We are not saying that government should pay money to somebody or not. Those are decisions that the government is best qualified to take. But we are saying that for the next 2 years or so, if not longer, we will continue to need hundreds of millions or hundreds of crores of vaccine.
Okay.
We need to start working towards that immediately, because any steps that we take today will still take a few months before it starts bearing fruits.
Okay. I'm really running out of time, but I want to give the last word to Dr. Lal. Dr. Lal, there's been an argument from FICCI that not just vaccines, look at testing also. We are in a position to do much more testing.
Absolutely.
So it has to go side by side. Test more, get more people diagnosed. Just nip this in the bud, take this head on, and that should be the approach. Dr. Lal?
Yes, Neha, you hit the nail on the head. The approach earlier was test, track, treat, isolate. Now with that, we've added the fourth dimension, which is the vaccination. But test and tracking, even the Prime Minister has emphasized, is more important than vaccination. If you do not know which people are suffering, those people are going to be spreading this virus, including in Kumbh Melas, etc., which I'm not supposed to talk about. But the fact of the matter is that you cannot put testing on the back burner. Absolutely correct.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Arvind Val, also Mr. Uday Shankar and Dr. Sangeeta Reddy for joining in with your perspective on that important story. The industry is worried. Night curfews are back. There are lockdowns that are being announced, at least in a couple of cities. Herein, they say, open up vaccination. There is no logic. There is no reason to hold back. When you have the capacity, build on that capacity and expedite approvals for other vaccines. And that really is the need of the hour. Thanking all of you for your valuable perspective on that important story that we are tracking. That's it from me for the moment. Much more news in just a bit.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.